a music background, and are really interested in engaging in the community. So I've talked for like 20 minutes, and I'm just now getting to what you get. I think this is what everybody wants to know from the get-go. What Fulbright provides is round-trip airfare. There's also a monthly stipend, and this is good. It really depends on the country you're going to. The cost of living, let's say in Nicaragua, is going to be a lot more inexpensive than like Switzerland. And so it's based off the cost of living in that country. But what's neat is, Fulbright is going to take care of you. You're not going to come back to the States independently wealthy, but you're going to be well taken care of. You'll have money to be able to travel around the country. You'll have money to be able to take care of all those costs associated with living and food and those sorts of things. And so Fulbright does look out for you. Health and accident insurance, that's kind of the hot topic these days. That's also taken care of by the Fulbright program. And you guys can see a list of some of the other benefits which vary by the country. One I want to highlight here are these enhancement activities. What these are is it's an opportunity for Fulbright to, in a specific region, to bring all the Fulbrighters in that same area, world area, together under one roof. And basically an opportunity for you to be able to network with other individuals. A couple weeks ago, I was traveling around Louisiana with a Fulbright ambassador, and she now lives out in the Bay Area, and she works as a freelance writer. And she was telling me that like 70 to 80% of her contacts that she makes for her articles have been through people that she's met while she was a Fulbrighter, or people that she's met through other Fulbrighters. And so what Fulbright does, or what it gives you, is access to this network of intelligence that you wouldn't otherwise have an opportunity to tap into. And so it's a great opportunity, these enhancement activities, to get to know other people and get a little more familiar with what they're doing in the country. Application components. Let me talk a little bit about everything is done online, which is great. The statement of purpose, this is where you're talking about exactly what you're going to be doing in that country. It's sort of outlining a plan for being able to achieve your goals. Jumping down to the personal statement, the way I like to look at this is sort of like an intellectual biography in narrative form. You're talking about the uniqueness that you're going to bring to the table, and what really makes you stand out from everybody else that's applying for these grants. This is a great opportunity for you to talk about your own intrinsic motivation for applying for the grant program, and just the uniqueness that is you. No two personal statements, no two applications that are going to be the same. Language report, this is an opportunity for you to talk about your experience with the language thus far. It's also an opportunity for you to talk about what you're going to continue, or how you're going to go about acquiring that basic level of the language, that basic hospitality level of the language. With the Fulbright program, I'll show you the timeline, and so you'll see that there's going to be like basically a year gap between the time you apply and the time you hear back. There's going to be several months. And what you can do is, this is an opportunity for you to audit some courses or get language lessons to help you before you take off for your grant. And so the language report is an area of the application where you're able to kind of do that reporting.
Lee, you want me to just jump in here and talk about some of the other language opportunities to help you
with
your Fulbright?
That'd be great.
Language requirements. So I mentioned at the beginning this critical language scholarship that is available to you all. You have to be enrolled in an undergraduate or graduate school program. These are 7 to 10 week intensive institutes. So in this 7 to 10 week period, you are going to have the equivalent of 1 year of college level language learning. I'll leave a bunch of these flyers up here. The website you need to know is clscholarship.org. CL, C as in cat, L as in Larry, scholarship.org. And I would encourage you all to think about applying to this program perhaps in the summer before you go off to the Fulbright. One way to help fulfill that language need that you'll have potentially for your projects. Almost all the languages are offered at the beginning level, so in many cases you don't have to have any language experience. In Arabic, We do require you to have what we call advanced beginning level. That's one year of college level Arabic. Anybody here studying Arabic or speaking Arabic? Fantastic. For other languages that are either more commonly taught or where we are looking for people with a little more experience because the country that we're going to send you to requires a little more experience, these would be Azerbaijani, Chinese, Japanese, Persian, or Russian. We're not sending you to Iran to learn Persian. We're going to Tajikistan. So, requires a little more experience in that region, so that's why it's only not that you're reading about. You have to be a U.S. citizen, again, like the Fulbright program, and anybody who's interested should start to look at this in the fall of this year, or summer of 2011. So fall this year, 2010, 2011. The other opportunity, which Lee was probably going to get to, but I'll step in here and just mention it briefly, is the Critical Language Enhancement Award. This is an add-on to the Fulbright proposal. We would typically be doing this either before or in some cases concurrently with your Fulbright grant. The languages, the critical languages that I mentioned are pretty much the same. There are a couple of other ones with the CLIA program, we call it the CLIA program. You would apply for this at the same time as you apply for your Fulbright scholarship. We have up to 150 of these critical language enhancement awards every year, and we have yet to fill all 150 of those slots. So please do consider applying for a critical language enhancement award. Key here being enhancement. You have to have some knowledge of the language beforehand. You can't come in full through. Yes?
You said that's an add-on to the Fulbright?
That's an add-on.
So you have to receive the Fulbright scholarship.
Exactly.
And apply.
Yeah. Well, you would apply at the same time, but you would have to be accepted to the research component of the grant. There are also a couple of opportunities for ETA, English teaching assistants, to apply for the critical language enhancement award, but that's much more limited. It's primarily for people doing research. So.
Definitely defer to the website for all those details about the CLIA program, for sure. The campus committee evaluation, did you want to say a couple words about that? Campus committee evaluation basically takes place here on UF's campus. And it's a group of faculty that are basically, it's an opportunity for you to have faculty look at your application. I mean, really the more eyeballs you have checking out your application, giving you feedback, the better off you're going to be. And so this typically takes place about a month before the deadline is set.
Sure. Yes, the campus committee evaluation, we are fortunate that we have almost 100 faculty here on campus who are Fulbright scholars themselves. And so we ask all of them to participate in our campus committee evaluation. And we try our best to gather a committee. It's usually 3 or 4 faculty members, myself and Art Sandine, who is sitting in the back of the room there. And it's an interview that's supported in nature. We will have read your project proposal and your personal statement at that point. We'll give a brief overview of what you intend to do, and then we'll ask you questions, and we'll give you feedback. We try our best to match the committee members with your particular content area, your region of the world, and also sometimes language, depending upon the country that you're applying to. Sometimes we nail it right on the head, and we get art historians and people that match up with your interests perfectly, and other times we try our best. But at any rate, with the campus committee interview, you will have an opportunity to present, and then we give you feedback, and we essentially give you 2 to 3 weeks, depending upon the timing of your interview, to make revisions, to make your proposal as best as it can be before you submit it on the final day in October. And I'm glad that you all are here today because the deadline rolls around quite early in the fall semester. I believe we set the deadline for September 9th this year. That's the local campus deadline. We expect you to have your materials in, schedule your interview, we'll put you through that process, and then we'll have you all ready to go for the final deadline, which is October 18th.
And you guys are really at an advantage having such an active and involved Fulbright program advisor on your campus. So if you haven't met John yet, definitely take some time after the session to get his card, hopefully he has cards, and exchange information. Because he's going to be a great resource for you here on this campus. This is a timeline of right now, what you should be thinking about is where you want to go and specifically what you want to be doing, and sort of getting your application together, if you will. As John was saying, that the campus deadline is going to be September 9th here on this campus, and so you have all summer to work on it. Yes, summer projects. And then about a month later, IIE is going to have their application deadline, which is October 18th. So definitely jot that time and that date down as well. So the application screening process. What happens is after these applications are sent in to us, the first review takes place nationally here in the U.S. at our headquarters in New York, also at some regional offices that we have around the nation. This is in November, December. Faculty are flown in from around the nation. They get together. They're reviewing about 50 applications in specific countries, specific regions of the world. From there, they're coming up with initial ratings and rankings. They're ranking students and then either recommending them or not recommending them, basically. And those that are recommended are sent on, those applications that are recommended are forwarded on to these commissions, these U.S. embassies, and then Fulbright foundations abroad. And so when you're proposing your essay, something to keep in mind is that you're not just writing for a U.S. audience, but you're also writing for the audience of the host country that you're applying to. And so that's definitely a reason why you want to go to the country summaries and look at what they're looking for, and make sure that it's not in direct contradiction to what they might be looking for. Everybody will find out whether they were recommended or not in late January. I think January 31st is the date that you'll find out. And so that's worth noting. This Fulbright Foreign Scholarship Board that you see at the bottom here, basically this is a board, I think Jamie described this. This is a 12-member board, handpicked and selected by the President of the U.S. President of the United States. And basically they have the final say, they give the final stamp of approval on the grants. If you make it through both of those first couple stages there, national review and commission review, chances are that you're going to be recommended and you're going to get the grants, unless you in the meantime commit a felony or something. But you guys all look like trustworthy people. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but some of us may have to sneak out for final exams before 5, which I do.
Does that take more? Is that more important than reading?
Yes. So I'm not going to be able to meet with the gentleman in the front. If he could just give us his name and you have email.
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah, my name's John Denny. My email is jdenny, that's J, D as in dog, E-N-N-Y, @ufl.edu. And
I'm sorry to interrupt.
he's going to talk about, quite all right, he's going to talk about the website here in a minute. And on the Fulbright website is a university information page, and all of my contact information, as well as our Dean who helps advise along with me. Our contact information is there. We're here during the summer, and we're happy to look over your proposals and talk about getting you started.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. And I think there's a sign-up list in the back, and so before you sneak out, if you do, if you would throw your name and email down, I'd like to get back in touch with you guys and just field any other questions that you have that may not be answered. What you see over here on the slideshow is each region of the world is broken up, and there's different program managers that basically are in touch with those commissions overseas, and so they can really give you the most up-to-date and best information about what's going on in that country. And so if you're having some troubles getting your questions answered, these individuals are just waiting. They're just sitting by their phones, just waiting for you to call them. And great people. So it's worth jotting down their email address, or I can show you on the website where you can find their contact information. So I'm going to move on.
This is a really good point. If you don't remember anything else that we told you today, remember this. And remember that these people exist because they're an untapped resource. Most people don't call or email them before they start working on the project. And they can really tell you everything you need to know, so please.
There's a slideshow available for download.
We will have it available to download. We don't have it yet, but we host webinars, as you can see here, that have already started and will be continuing and going all through the summer up to the application deadline. And so these webinars are designed to be able to give you guys information that you want, that you need, in the comfort of your own homes or offices. To answer your question, what we've done is we've recorded the webinars, and we're just going to add slides to that. And so we'll have sort of a basic overview of the program. Some of our other multimedia resources, some that I think are the best are these podcasts and video casts and these YouTube interviews. I think the best way to learn about a program is to hear from somebody who's done it, someone who has accepted it, somebody who's looking at it. They really provide a lot of great information about what they did while they were on their Fulbright, but they also talk about going through the application process. And really have a lot of great nuggets of information that you should tap into. But before I continue to blab on and go to the websites, I do want to have a little bit of time. If you could just kind of talk about, let me set you up a little bit.
Wow.
Set you up a little bit. Okay, so talk about the application process and what did you do sort of to, I guess, to prepare? How did you find the program that you wanted, and then from there, kind of craft your proposal?
Well, I think the most important thing is to be aware of the different countries and the